that great win from last night. How was the energy in practice today, and what's the vibes like?
Energy's been great. We feel good. It was a great win, but all our energy is shifted towards the next game. We know it's going to be a big game, very very forceful game. We have a great team that we're going against, and they're on the road, man. And they know they've shown resiliency, so look so we got to be up to the battle.
It's been a long season. I know we're all used to back-to-backs, but this is going to be the shortest turnaround in this series. Is there any difference that you guys feel in that circumstance?
Not too much of a difference. To be honest, we're not even halfway through the series right now, so it's not too much of a difference right there. All we have to do is just stay locked in and stick to our principles. That's our main thing. That was the thing about going into practice and going into film work is just staying to our principles and making sure we do that to the best of our abilities.
And for example, you that are a big man, how hard has it been for you to face Holmgren and Hartenstein at the same time?
They're tough, very skilled big men. They played to their abilities, and they thought they put together for them, really good. It's the reason why they're in the NBA Finals, and we got to still be locked in. With both of them, they're great big men. Do a real good job around the rim, outside as well, and they're a key vocal point for their team, so they're on our radar.
Yeah, I think Indiana played better for the majority of the game. I think we had stretches where we played good, but I think that we played on their terms more than we played on our terms of, how the game wanted to be and how the game wanted to flow. And, I think that was apparent just with, the runs that they went on when they played well were, 9, 10, 12-point runs, and ours were more like 6, 7-point runs. So I think that's probably the thing that stood out the most.
Alex Herdon, you've been in this position in Denver 1-2 down, and you tied the series and you won it finally. Which one you should say should be the 1-2 first adjustments for tomorrow?
Yeah, I think just the competitive greatness for this team has to be at an all-time high. To be able to go on the road and win a game is a difficult thing in the playoffs, but especially being down, staring 3-1 down in the face, you gotta really get your mind right and get ready for the preparation that it's going to take to go out there and compete for 40 minutes and get the win.
It's easy to handle the situation between Shea and Jalen. They lost the ball turnovers 10 between them. It's weird. Mm-hmm. It's easy to correct that, talking about them?
Yeah, I'll have to go back and actually look at the actual turnovers. I'm not sure where they came from, the specific plays, but yeah, I think that's an abnormal game for them. I think their norm all year has been to take care of the ball and to get us great shots as a team. So yeah, I expect them to find that form again.
My last one, very quick. Did you surprise when you were playing the game with the level of intensity of their defense?
No, I thought, like I said, I think there were stretches where we, kind of dominated the game and played the way we wanted to, particularly on the defensive end. I think that, they just did a better job, and maybe that's, coming back home, they had a little more juice, a little more pop. But I think for the most part, I think when we did what we wanted to do and we executed how we wanted to play, it was good for us.
Thank you.
Alex, obviously you were the only one with NBA Finals experience on your team, and besides the obvious 5 years ago, the bubble versus now, what would you say, has the experience of being in the finals kind of been similar to what you felt in the bubble, or has it been completely different?
Yeah, I think the real difference is just that, like, I was in my third year in the NBA, and 2 of those went two-way. So, like, I was still learning a lot at the time, whereas now I think, like, that was my first playoff run. That was the first time I'd been to the playoffs, was a year we won the championship. So I think going through a couple of seasons in between that and losing the playoffs, getting to the playoffs, and now here, being on this stretch run again and getting here and having a chance to win it, just my knowledge of the game and my understanding of the situations, I relied a lot on the veteran team that we had the year we won the championship. And we had multiple guys, 10, 15 years in the league. It's an astounding number. So I think being on the other side of that now, being the guy who's had the most experience and trying to give the guys the right mindset and the right course corrections is probably the biggest difference. Yeah, guard him better. That would be a good start. Don't give him the ball 90 feet away from the basket on offense. TJ played, the way that he plays last night, and he impacted the game. I've seen that from him for a number of years now. We know what the scout is on him, and he does a good job of finding ways to impact the game still. But yeah, I think just keep him out of the paint, and then obviously don't throw him the ball under the basket 90 feet. Yeah, I mean that's kind of like we don't run set plays for most people on our team. Most people on our team, we get set plays out of the actions, and we get shots out of the actions and off of the the coverages of teams with our managing guys. So some of that's just the ball finding you. Like I think I only had 5 shots last game, and the other game I had 8 threes up just through the flow of the game. Maybe I missed 1 or 2 that I could have taken last night, but for the most part, it's not like a concentrated effort to like make sure I get in the game and score, or like Wiggs get in the game and score, or whoever it is. We do a pretty good job of letting the game tell us what to do.
After the turnovers, and how quickly do you forget those situations, and do you sometimes have guilty feeling about the result of the game?
Sorry, what was the second question?
If you have guilty feeling after
feeling.
this, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you lose, you think about every play that could have gone a different direction, and that you were involved in the game. That's just normal for basketball. If you don't think about it like that, then you're probably not trying to get better. You probably don't hold yourself to the standard that you need to. But yeah, in the game, I mean, that's the biggest thing with basketball, especially just because the possessions turn over so quickly. Is getting to the next one. If you don't do a good enough job, getting over the mistake or the turnover or the missed shot, then you're probably lingering in the next possession, and now you're rendering yourself, in a bad position there. So that is a skill to get over, and I think for the most part we have guys that do a good job of getting through that.
Perspective of like the fan base's energy from last night's game. I mean, it's the first time that they see the finals after 25 years here. What was your perspective on it?
Yeah, I had no idea before the game what I was going to be walking into. I played in some big games here last year, my rookie year, Eastern Conference playoffs, in-season tournament. The crowd was rocking, but I feel like there was a different energy. And I feel like once you step down that court, you can feel how much the fans want it for the city. So it just adds a little bit of extra motivation for all of us. They made it a great environment. We're going to need them to show up tomorrow too.
There's only one day between Game 3 and Game 4. What does that change in terms of process, in terms of recovery, in terms of your daily kind of regimen leading up to the game?
Yeah, you definitely got to take care of yourself during this day in between. I don't know, we kind of had a light practice, watch film, picked up on all the things that we messed up on, and then just focus on getting better tomorrow.
Do you prefer like the quicker turnaround rather than having like the full 2 days in between games?
I'd say personally for myself, I like the quicker turnaround, just because I'm so anxious to play all the time and so excited. So yeah, definitely excited for tomorrow.
The level of intensity between every game, how much has been growing up?
I feel like both teams know how much is at stake. So as the series goes on, each situation is so important within the game. So yeah, I feel like pressure's building, and just sticking together and playing our team basketball.
Even though there is 48 minutes, do you feel it's shorter or longer as soon as the series is advancing?
I feel like it's longer, just because every play is so important, and just kind of gives you a good idea of how the series is going to go and all that type of stuff. So I'd definitely say longer.
What do you expect from Oklahoma City in that so-called must-win game for them on Friday night?
Just come out and play hard. We know they're going to be ready. We know they're going to be ready to compete. So, yeah, just expect them to play hard and just do what they do.
Can you match what you did in Game 3? Is it easier said than done to do that?
It's easier said than done, but I think our group is ready for it. We're excited and just excited to defend home court again, see what we can do. So.
Ben, now since this has kind of been like the whole routine has been a weekend, a week into the routine, do you feel like this is still just an NBA games, or do you feel like this is the finals and it just feels different? Everything about it, like even off the court.
I feel like it's more important once you get on the court, but day to day, I just feel like it's a normal routine, a normal playoff game, and just trying not to let the moment get too big, and just focus on playing, focus as a collective group, just seeing goals at stake. So.
Do you go into a cocoon, or do you have family staying with you? Do you try to limit distractions?
Definitely. I'd say when I'm outside the gym, I try to take time to myself and not think too much about basketball, but yeah, just making sure I'm managing my time correctly.
How is you preparing for that, and are you the guy to guard SGA whenever Nembhard can do that?
Yeah, I'd say I'm the secondary defender for him coming off the bench, but just playing confident, doing what I'm doing, and for a young player like me, it's cool to watch Andrew do what he does out there and just learn from him and take everything that he's doing out there to guard him and slow him down, and just try to implement that when I get out there.
Did you find something yesterday that you can apply tomorrow? Will it be a totally different game?
We're still looking at stuff like that, and then obviously look at stuff that we can fix. But don't want to divulge too much information. But Rick and his staff do a great job of figuring out what we need to fix and stuff that we can add.
TJ, how you doing? This is Remy, Latin America. I know you're gonna say it's your job, but 5 steals from the bench, you change again your energy with Albi and Benedict, etc. Were you amazed about yourselves doing that in the finals?
I think you know me. Our group, it's a field thing. When we need to inject energy, I think we do a good job of doing that. And like you said, just trying to do my job. Really, that's all it comes down to. Nothing more, nothing less.
For you, what was the key yesterday? The level and intensity of the defense, forcing 19 turnovers, or that second quarter was amazing with 40 points and the closeout? Which one would you pick at the moment of the game?
I'm not quite sure. I just think as a group, we just continue to need to be tied together on both ends of the floor because we're going against a great team who's extremely well coached, got the MVP of the league. So we have a lot more left to do.
You guys get the loose ball. It's like you guys really wanted this game from last night. Where does that come from for you guys, especially in this postseason? Have you guys been able to find a way down the stretch?
I mean, I feel like throughout the series, to start the game, you could really say OKC was getting all the 50-50 balls and, the second chance points. It goes in waves, and you have to have a concerted effort from the group to kind of dig deeper and go to another place competitively, and that's what we need to continue to do.
What do you do with your relationship with the fans? Like, you've taken that more on each game, each season of finding a moment within a game and hoping it sparks something.
Yeah, I mean, I love this place. I love our fans, and anytime we can get them energized more than they already are, it takes us to another level, and we need their energy next game.
TJ, what's the role of conditioning plays for you and your team in terms of playing the way you do and having seemingly more energy than your opponent every fourth quarter?
Yeah, I mean, we obviously got to be in good shape. I got to credit Rick and our strength and conditioning staff for preparing us to play this way from the moment Rick walked through the door, and credit to us for kind of taking, and no pun intended, running with it. It's a style of play that he wanted to play, and we've adapted, and we've got to continue to do so.
The first 3 quarters, I think OKC's outscoring you guys. Like, I think they're plus 23 in the first quarter. You guys are plus 27 in the fourth quarter so far in the series. What do you think's led to that disparity in the fourth quarter?
Just continuing to play, staying together through their runs because they're going to make runs. They're a great team. Just coming together, talking to each other, and being connected on both ends of the floor throughout the entire game.
So I guess, what do you attribute the first 3 quarters to you guys losing all those so far?
I mean, they're a great team. I don't really have, a direct answer for you, but I mean, they've got really good players over there and a great coach. So for them to make runs is not unusual. It's just we're going against a really good team. We're focusing on game 4.
Besides the 5 steals, you also scored 10 points. Do you define as an opportunity player in terms of offense?
Just trying to pick my spots, honestly. When an opportunity presents itself for me to try to go score, that's what I try to do. But other than that, just play hard and get my teammates the ball and bring energy on defense. I mean, it's a tough question, but at the same time, in your off-season workouts, just getting yourself in great shape and playing one-on-one full court against somebody, just getting a mindset that you're not going to get tired. I think is something that I would try to teach someone to play hard.
Effort-wise, what do you expect from the Thunder in Game 4?
I mean, they always respond. They're a great team. You saw how they responded in Game 2. We're going to have to be really locked in and dialed in for their response and be totally together.
TJ Obi referred to you as a pest when I asked him about your style of play. He wanted to remind you that he had had a massive dunk against you one time. Would you describe you as being a pest? You talked about working hard and bringing that extra. Is that a good description, you think?
I've heard about every nickname you can imagine. So just kind of roll with it. But it sounds super cliche. I'm out here just trying to do my job. And it sounds redundant because I keep saying it, but that's just been my mindset throughout my career.
Preparation, Logan, and the expectation for tomorrow's game.
It's going to be another tough game. They're a really good team. They play really good. We just got to respond to the last game that we played. We regrouped, we watched film, and then we saw some of the stuff we can get better at.
The fans, how do you compare the fans from Indiana to the OKC?
OKC is the best one still. I mean, they were loud. They were cheering for their team, yes, for sure. But OKC is the best for sure.
Lou, going back and looking at the film, a lot of guys are like, there's so many controllables that we can lean into going into Game 4. What are some of those top of mind controllables?
Biggest one is taking care of the ball. They're real aggressive. Their pickup points and all that. So we got to take our time and take care of the ball, and then if we do that, we're gonna be in a good position.
You guys have done such a good job of responding throughout the entirety of this postseason. What goes into that mentally for this group?
Regrouping. I mean, not every game is going to be perfect. We're going to make some mistakes, and we just got to regroup and see the stuff we can get better at. Which we've been doing a good job of turning the page, and then now it's going to be a different game, and then we're going to be ready for the challenge.
What's the key to rendering a guy like TJ McConnell less effective after the game he had yesterday?
He's a big energy guy, honestly. Really smart. He's in the right position, to steal the ball a lot of the time, and then he plays with a really good pace. We just gotta take care of the ball and also stay in front of him. I mean, he's a good player. He's gonna make some good plays, but we got good defenders to stop that.
Is he a guy you have to be more aware of where he is on the court, especially with his ability to get those steals?
For sure. I mean, he's crafty, he's smart, and he's small at the same time. Sometimes it's hard to see him, but we just gotta take our time and see where he's at to be able to take care of the ball.
Lou, which one do you describe as the worst thing last night? The 19 turnovers or 18 points in the fourth quarter? Or is it the same Lincoln?
I would say both.
Yeah?
Both. We got to take care of the ball, and then, we got to stop them. I mean, 19 in the quarter is a lot of points, so, we got to take care of that.
And playing defense against a guy like Tyrese Halliburton yesterday, almost a triple-double, handling the rhythm for the guys, how difficult is it, or what can you describe play defense on him?
Yeah, he's a good player. Has the ball a lot. He's going to make a lot of good plays for his teammates and for himself. So our main job is to make everything tough. I feel like he kind of got loose yesterday, last night. We just got to take care of that. Make everything tough and be a little more physical.
I'm not asking you to gas up an opponent, but you know him as your countryman. What is it about Nembhard that I guess gives him the gumption to try to really go at and stay with MVP?
Yeah, he's a competitor. Got to give it to him. I mean, he's been like that since high school, and that's not new. But he takes a challenge every time, and then he's a tough player. And then knowing that he's going against the best player in the league, he'll give his best shot, and then give a lot of credit to him for that.
Do you think that having just one day in between Game 3 and 4 can help you guys, let's say, fire you guys up to have a chance to respond right away?
Honestly, I don't think it really matters. I mean, the game plan is still the same if we have, 2 days, 3 days, whatever days off we got between the games. But the game plan is still the same, and then whenever it's game day, we'll be ready to go.